Just this engagement was sparked from the letters. Unfortunately, the Honorable Minister of State for Privatization and Investment wrote 2 letters. And in the 2 different letters, although the contents are the same, the different stakeholders who are copied in brought suspicion. 2, we also know that she works closely with UIA because that is her docket. And if she's aware, there has been a lot of engagements with a potential investor that government has been engaging with. It therefore made us to think that there is miscoordination. There is no coordination among us leaders at even national level, because if they were coordinated and working together, we should not have had this letter come to Lira District local government to create confusion, because the situation we are in is as a result of that. Because for us, we were sure that there's this going process, the UIA management is handling, and then it goes to the board, there is an approval of the investment and whatever, and if they communicate to us, we engage and make sure that everything is embraced. So we saw some bit of gaps. That's why we decided to make sure that we seek clarifications. So that is the angle that brought all these engagements, which I am very happy has been clarified, because we didn't want to believe that there was foul play here on ground, or there's foul play at national level. I think it's just miscommunication and lack of coordination, which I request those in government, please work with your colleagues. Right now we have a situation where Lira District local government holds the land title by law, and then the political jurisdiction of Lira Industrial Park is in Lira City. So you cannot move without coordinating with the Lira City, because they are the planning authority in that area. So I think that these are some of the things we have agreed on, and going forward, we want to meet the top leaders of the districts and then the city as well, so that locally we are also very organized in terms of how we are doing the work. So there were gaps, but I think that the meeting has helped us to advise and to share ideas and to resolve on what to be done.
So there has been also concern in the manner in which the land was being allocated, a chunk of land being given to only one farm. As the chamber, what requests or what appeals do you have for the the domestic investors?
There must be a formula. If you come to request me for transport refund and you want me to pay 50,000 Uganda shillings for going to Camden, which we know may be around 10,000 shillings, I think it is worth that I ask questions. Now, first of all, we have not seen the master plan, the proposal. How are they going to use these 200 acres of land? The how determines the acreage. Because if you come with a master plan that needs you to sit that investment on, let's say, 100 acres, it is justifiable. And I think that process should go through UIA and the board approves. So that here when they come, leaders must ask those documents. Where are they? Because if UIA has done that, the investment is going to be within the local jurisdiction. So I want leaders to respect themselves. If you are doing anything with good intentions, make sure that even the next line of leaders are able to appreciate what you have done. So when we started asking if there is a master plan, if there is a good plan for the 200 acres, we have not got any information. So in view of that, we saw that this was a mental, master, thoughtful something, which maybe they just say 200 acres, we need 200 acres. But 200 acres to do what? Because we believe that the factory you're going to set, unless it's going to be one of the biggest in sub-Saharan Africa, we must understand what you're going to do, what is the return on its investment. For us, we want to see jobs. We want to see how that investment is going to obtain the raw materials in the region, creating markets for people from within the region and outside the region, and how government is going to benefit. Government is asking their revenue and all that kind of stuff. We have not seen that. Now, because we are also informed, we have decided to ask questions. Perhaps it would have been easier if there were leaders of the time who have nothing but they have their own interest. But whoever is dealing with the region should know that we are enlightened people. We are also seeking, we are also investors. We are also doing something to help people, so we know the right thing to be done. So I just beg leaders who are holding government offices, wherever you find yourself, whether you're president, whether you're a minister, whether you're prime minister, please let us all do the right thing. Whether you are LC1 chairman, in any position of authority, be accountable and be transparent. And also you must be seen to be accountable and transparent. Because you can say I'm accountable, but when we see and ask you through the process, we discover there is a huge problem. So I think that this is an eye-opener and a lesson to all leaders that citizens must be at the center of their development. We are not stopping anything, but we just want people to answer questions. And I'm glad our leaders locally here were able to join us in the meeting and we engaged perfectly well. And I hope the national level leaders will be able to do the same, because we have already written to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. I know she is a very, very proactive leader. We are looking forward to her having the Lango leaders understand what is going on, because there are so many misinformation, disinformation, and falsehood, which we believe is critical. We are going into an election. If what used to be the narrative then comes back in play, that government wants to take people's land, you know what that means politically. It can cause embarrassments to the party. And as a leader in the party, as a member of the NRM party, I don't think I am going to watch government or our party be dragged into something on account of an individual who has not done the right thing. So we are holding ourselves accountable as the leaders of the people. Politics and economy are twins. You can't divorce them. Without politics, the economy is confused. Without the economy, the politicians or politics is totally nothing. That's why we talk about indicators of economics. And politicians are always talking about that. The president is always talking about, when you talk about poverty, it is talking about money. So as a politician, you should be concerned about the economy. So unfortunately, in some circles, people think that people should just be in the business of raising revenue, paying taxes, keeping quiet and all that. But we are bothered as leaders of the business community, because Industrial Park is a program of government. And the president has made it very elaborately clear. He's working day and night to make sure that in this part of the region of Africa, we move away from this useless poverty. And therefore, if you talk about an industrial park, an investment of industries that will increase our revenue worth, that will create more jobs, that will provide wealth. For example, if you have value chains well developed, that you have cassava and you know where to sell it, it is manufactured into other products, and then it goes to the global market or local markets or regional markets, you are sure as a government to earn from it a lot. Because your people will have money, their purchasing power will go up. And the president keeps talking about, and I think he has articulated in the NRM manifesto as well, about this particular group of people not in the money economy. So for us as leaders, we are only supporting His Excellency's vision to make sure that Lano is not lagging behind. You know that when we have this strategic investment in Lano, you are taking some of the products as far as West Nile, actually, going to Teso and to Karamoja and the rest. And we have already been servicing these regions because of the few industries which are here. So this is why, as a Chamber of Commerce, we are, and leaders, we are also domestic investors. We are investing. That means we are also asking Uganda Investment Authority that for us as Lango people, we believe in an economy that is balanced, where you don't pick 200 acres and give to one investor to even begin to do all the farming, and then the rest of the people have no market for their produce. So our discussion with the leaders of the city council and also the district is to harmonize our thinking around how we must structure our economy. And I think that this was a very powerful meeting that provided information which our leaders had, and also we have on our side. And I'm glad that we harmonized we have agreed that there must be a stakeholders meeting, an inclusive stakeholders meeting. Because when the 500 acres of land was picked from Lira, remember, this was called also Lango district. So Lango is interested in what goes on in Lira. This is a regional city, this is a national city. So you cannot on your own in some small district finish the work on behalf of everybody, because political offices are held in trust of the people. And so, first of all, without even being in business, we are citizens. We must be asking for accountable governance. So I think that this one is being done very well by the Chamber of Commerce that brings together business community. And also these leaders are also members of our chamber. So I want to thank His Worship Samatul for being in the meeting, and Honorable Chairman LC5 of Lira District, who clarified how he got, engaged with the Minister of State for Privatization, Evelyn Anite. And in view of that, because we see that procedures must have been faulted somewhere, the chairman has made it elaborately clear, and I've received a copy of the letter from the cow, halting the process of subdivision of the land and giving it to the potential Chinese investor. Because also our conversation with the leadership at Uganda Investment Authority is clear that the president already had given a directive for another investor who should be revamping cotton farming in the region, because they are putting cotton processing and textile manufacturing, which we also benchmarked in August 2024 under the leadership of the Minister of State for Agriculture, retired Major Fred Gwina. So all these engagements have helped us to share information, which we have been sharing, but sometimes people don't take information seriously. So as it stands, we are waiting for Uganda Investment Authority to come down and meet stakeholders. We have also asked the Office of the Prime Minister, given that the letter came from the Minister of State for privatization and it has created uproar, we have decided to ask for a more broader stakeholder engagement. If the Prime Minister can step in to ensure that the Minister's position is a position of government, to ensure that Uganda Investment Authority is talking to the stakeholders on ground, because people gave land, we never sold it. We gave land for free to government, government to government, and we want to see benefits from the land offered. So should we see that somehow we are not understanding what is going on, then there will be more questions. But I want to appreciate our people who have welcomed investment. And in the region we have many investors. But what we want to avoid is a situation where people take advantage for the positions they occupy, begin to create dealer groups and deals at the expense of what government has set out to do and the procedures which are laid very clearly in the laws of government and in the policy books. So we are advising those who are engaged in that, we know what is supposed to be done, whether locally or at national level. And let every leader who is holding public office be able to do whatever they do, aware that there will be questions thereafter. So for now, we are ceasing fire and waiting for feedback from the Honorable Prime Minister. I'm very appreciative of Lira District Local Government for taking steps to halt the processes until everything is clear. We have also agreed that given the issues which are simmering around, in the stakeholders meeting, Lango will now hand over the title for transfer to the name of Uganda Investment Authority. If there is no stakeholder engagement, then there is no next steps. Until that happens, when we have understood and asked questions, because people will ask us, because they have given us responsibility, we should be able to explain to the people at the end of the day what we also did. And I think that most of these have clarified a lot. So I call upon our people for calmness, even the community of Umura where this land is. They will be consulted, they will be engaged, because they are also a very key stakeholder group. And we are going to manage different stakeholders, whether locally, nationally, or even foreign investors who are coming. So we want to pave the way. We don't want the investors to come here, and that is when we start to have issues. So this is a precursor engagement to make sure that everything is settled. And we have promised from UIA leadership over how they are going to handle the next steps. In July, we intend to really host them, and if they communicate, we'll let the people know. So otherwise, that is why we've been engaging tonight about Lira Industrial Park situation.
We found ourselves in a situation where it looks like the process had been derailed with an offer of land of close to 200 acres to one investor. So this meeting was to harmonize and to understand how Uganda Investment Authority will make good their promise to develop the Lira Industrial Park.
So what do we want to see going forward?
The community want to see this industrial park come because it's a source of attracting investors to the region, but also an opportunity to give our young people employment. So it's important that this process is fast-tracked and is followed as it is in other places, because it was unique that suddenly a decision was being made to give part of this land before the land of the industrial park is properly serviced. So I think this was a major concern from our people, and it's important that we are now in agreement that this process has to be followed. We can't just shortcut what should have been a greater good for this community.
You earlier on had fears that the land is about 500 acres, which is a requirement by UIA.
Yes.
And then 200 of this same land was going to be given out. What consequences would it come with in terms of the city having an industrial park?
Of course, this would affect development in this region. Lira City is known as a commercial and industrial city. Why? Because we draw farmers from the region, and we are doing agro-processing. If you look at most of the industries around Lira City, we are all processing agricultural products. So it's a big value chain industry in the region. So if we had missed this, which is a delaying tactics for me, that means our people are not going to enjoy the process of developing the economy. Remember, Uganda has come up with a plan that in the next 10 years, our economy should grow tenfold, close to 500 billion. So how are we going to be part of this process if we lack such investment? So I think it's a huge community concern.
So as leaders, what are your appeals? What do you need to be done so that at least we don't miss this?
We want government to have an honest conversation with the people through the investment arm, Uganda Investment Authority, the Ministry of Finance, and now an appeal has been made to the Prime Minister to come on board so that this process can be seen to be transparent and the community assured, like we've already listened from the Chair Lira District, that they're not going to give away part of this land. And I think that is the concern of the people, that the industrial park is developed in that context as an industrial park.
The land is in Lira City. The title is held by Lira District. Is the city okay with it and then going forward?
We have no problem because we have a situation where we say it's government to government. Lira District is giving to government. Lira City is a local government within Uganda. So for us, there's no problem, as long as government makes good its promise. And this is a special appeal also to our NRM government, that this is a manifesto item of this Kisanda 2021-2026. So it will be bad for us to go without ticking this critical box, which we know our president has been always on this case, urging us to bring as many investors as possible in every part of Uganda. So I think Lamu through Lira City should be part of this conversation. But our people are also benefiting from government programs just like any other region of this country.
Thank you for watching Lango News channel. Please subscribe for more updates.